there, grade nines, and welcome to the periodic table part 1. When you're ready, let's get started. All right, so first things first, the periodic table, which is awesome, is broken into 3 main categories. The first category is found here at the staircase, and it's called the metalloids. So say metalloids to yourself. So metalloids are found at that staircase, and the staircase is always kind of drawn in dark, or they're like more shaded darker, so you can see which ones are the metalloids. Our next 2 categories are separated by the metalloids. The first one here is the nonmetals. The nonmetals are always on your right-hand side, except for, bam, hydrogen. So that little guy there is your hydrogen. And so hydrogen we put here for very specific reasons, which I'll talk about in the next video, but you just know that hydrogen sort of floats its way over here to be part of the nonmetals. My final thing here is that nonmetals have some very specific properties that relate to them. The first thing is nonmetals are dull. They are brittle. So brittle means they break apart or crack very easily, and they're insulators. Remember that insulators, they either allow heat or energy to flow through them. So this page is always examples of some fabulous nonmetals. Our last category is our metals. So our metals are all the ones on the left-hand side of the table except for the hydrogen. I remember that these are the metals and the nonmetals because M comes before N in the alphabet, right? So you have L, M, N, O. That's how we always read left to right. So it's metals to nonmetals, and then metalloids is that green kind of staircase that we have here. All right, metals, just like nonmetals have their characteristics or properties, so do metals. Metals are shiny, they're ductile. So ductile means it can go into a wire. Malleable means you pound it flat into a sheet or you can mold it, kind of like this aluminum foil that you have down here. And then finally, they're conductors. They allow heat and or electricity to flow through them. Notice that metals and nonmetals are opposites of each other, and that's very important. Okay, let's practice. So we're looking for what is the property for the element. The element I'm talking about here is lithium. The first thing you gotta do is you gotta find it on the periodic table, which is right over here. We remember this side here is the metals and this side here is the nonmetals. Remember, it goes metals to nonmetals except for our hydrogen. So it's a metal and metals are shiny. We have phosphorus, if it's shiny or dull. I gotta find my phosphorus. So I look. Oh, there's phosphorus. Here is my staircase, because it's on the right-hand side of the staircase. It's an N, right, for non-metals. Non-metals are absolutely dull. How about carbon? Is carbon an insulator or a conductor? I find carbon. Carbon is right here. Ooh, that's a close one. It's right on that staircase, but it's actually part of our non-metals. Remember, metals are on your left-hand side, non-metals on your right-hand side. So it's a non-metal, therefore it is an insulator. How about hydrogen, insulator or conductor? You should have been like, oh man, hydrogen is so sneaky. It's sneaky because our hydrogen's like, whoop, it zips its way over here to be part of the non-metals. So the reason why it's green in this picture is actually the state of matter, which we'll talk a little bit more later on. So here we go, it's green. It is a non-metal, making it a bing, 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 an insulator. Our next one here is beryllium. Beryllium is right here. Beryllium is on the left-hand side, therefore it's going to be a conductor. How about nitrogen? Is it malleable or brittle? In your head, you should go bing. Malleable means flattened into a sheet of some sort. So I gotta decide, is it a metal or is it a non-metal? So nitrogen is brittle because over here, it is a non-metal, therefore it is brittle. How about chlorine? So we find chlorine. Chlorine is over here, and I look, is it malleable or is it brittle? Well, it's a non-metal because on the right-hand side, non-metals are, you guessed it, brittle. And looking at sodium, sodium is over here. I notice that sodium is a metal because it's on the left-hand side. And then I look, is it malleable or brittle? Well, malleable is for metals, so therefore it's malleable. So did you know that metals can be solid or liquid? So the colors here represent the states of matter. So you got solid is yellow, liquid is blue, and green is gas. So look at our metals, which is all these in here, like this. Notice that they're all yellow except for, bam, mercury. Mercury is the only one that is a liquid. Now we compare that to our non-metals on this side of the staircase. Notice we have yellow, green, and blue because they can be solids, liquids, or gases. And you guessed it, bromine is the only liquid. There's only 2 liquids in this entire periodic table. This is when you act shocked. And then gas is green. All right, so how do you find the state of the element on the room temperature? You look at the periodic table, just like we showed in the last slide there. So looking over here, once again, your table will always be color-coded or have some kind of symbols on there so that you would know that. You don't have to memorize what is solid, liquid, and gas. Now, you're probably going to memorize what liquid is because only mercury and bromine are liquids. Notice here that the gases make a cool number 7, including chlorine and helium and hydrogen. So we're going to recap it here, my friends. Periodic tables, we're going to 3 fabulous categories. Over here, we have our metals, right? And we have our non-metals on our other side. And then breaking us up down here at the staircase, you guessed it, is the metalloids. Thanks for listening, my friends. Have a scientific day.